Greetings and welcome to Village in Motion. I'm your host, Marcia Boyles, and I'm delighted today to introduce two Garden Ridge dietitian interns. And let me introduce them. Let's begin with Amy. Amy, would you like to raise your hand and show us who you are? Thank you very kindly. The other intern is Taylor.
Hi.
You could say hello too. These are two interns from Virginia Tech, and they are at Garden Ridge for a year. Is that correct, or thereabouts?
About 2 weeks.
Oh, about 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Oh, I had you here for much longer than that. All right. Well, in that case, we're particularly privileged to have you come. These young ladies are going to be demonstrating food in a mug. Would that be the proper way to put this? And they're going to show us the kinds of things that they're doing in a mug.
Yeah.
So, Amy, I think you're beginning today. We're using one of your recipes. Is that correct? We're starting with one of yours.
Yeah, actually, Taylor's going to start with she's making a pumpkin pie in a mug. But basically, these recipes are super convenient to make. It's only one serving, and you can make it. All you need is a mug and a microwave, and then the ingredients for your recipe. So today we're going to be making chocolate chip cookie in a mug, a blueberry muffin, as well as an apple crisp in a mug, and a pumpkin pie. So when you think about making a whole apple crisp, it can kind of be super burdensome to make this huge pan of apples and all the ingredients. But if you want to make something super easy, you can just make it in a mug, in a microwave, and it takes only about 5 minutes. So less dishes, and is convenient because it's only one serving. So it helps with portion control as well.
My heavens. I had no idea you could make a variety of things like that in a mug.
You can make anything in a mug.
All right. Well, this is going to be very instructive for us.
Yeah.
All right. Well, go ahead, ladies.
Okay, well, first we're going to make a pumpkin pie. And if you're like myself, I do not have time to make an entire pumpkin pie. So this recipe is perfect for me. So we're going to start with some ginger snap cookies. And if you're watching your weight, or if you're looking to lose some weight, you could do the sugar-free ginger snaps. There's a lot of different substitutions that you can use. So you do some melted butter with the ginger snaps, and it's going to make a crust. And then what we're going to do is we're going to combine all the other ingredients. So you have your pumpkin puree. So you put it in.
Now, does the crust just stay on the bottom when you're doing this?
Yeah, because it's melted butter and ginger snap, so it just
All right.
stays in the
All right.
bottom, and it's perfect.
Okay.
So we're going to add an egg, or we'll use this one. Let's see how good my cracking skills are. Perfect. And then we're going to do some milk or cream. We have half and half today. So you're going to use some half and half.
Now, I see that you're not measuring. Just a
Yeah.
little dab
kind
of thing.
We do have some measuring spoons. I personally like to just dab, but we do have a recipe that we could be following as well.
I see. All right.
But yes.
And most of these ingredients are pre-measured out.
Yeah.
So some of them
Yeah, so that helps
we
as
already
well.
have.
And then we're also going to do about 2 tablespoons of brown sugar. Now, are you a pumpkin pie fan?
Oh, yes, indeed.
Is that your favorite kind of pie?
I hope you're going to cook this and leave it.
We actually do have one already made. And
Oh,
you
do
are,
you?
You are
Oh,
more than welcome
I knew
to
there were
try
benefits to this job.
Yep.
Right.
And then the only other thing we need is some pumpkin pie spice.
Allspice.
Yep. So you just add some. Gotta have the pumpkin pie spice, you know?
Yes.
So then you just mix it all together.
Now, are you mixing also? Are you getting down to where the crust is, and does that?
No, I'm not touching the crust.
All right.
If we had extra bowls, we could mix the batter in the bowl
Right,
first, and
right,
then just pour it in.
So you're careful to not to get down to the crust.
Yeah, and like I said, if we had an extra bowl here, we can mix the batter in
Well, this
before.
makes it very easy. It's a
Yeah, so it's gonna look like your pumpkin pie color. And you put it in we did it this morning, we put it in the microwave for about 2.5 minutes. And we have our pre-made one here, so it looks like this.
Well, it looks like a pumpkin pie, sort of.
Yeah, and you're more than welcome to give it a try.
Oh, I will. Thank you very much.
And if you're looking to gain some weight, you can add some whipped cream or some crushed nuts on top. If you're trying to watch your weight, you can use things like skim milk. A lot of people use applesauce in the place of butter. Like I said, the sugar-free ginger snaps, any little substitutions that you want to make.
All right.
So yeah.
Well, that's excellent. Well, I definitely will try this.
We should have brought some whipped cream for you.
Well,
but
no. This is wicked enough.
Good.
That's quite pumpkin pie-ish.
Good. That's what we want to hear.
Yes, that's very good.
And it doesn't take much time at all, which is good. So you're not left with all these leftovers for days.
Yes, or dirty
you know?
dishes, or yes. All right. Well, I think that's terrific.
Yeah.
Gosh, this is the first time I've ever hosted a show where I actually got to eat on the show.
Well, we have 3 more for you.
Oh,
so.
really? Oh.
Save your appetite. We've got more coming.
All right. All right.
Yeah.
So our next recipe is I'm going to make some apple crisp in a mug. And what's awesome about this recipe is that you use a whole apple, and which is a whole cup, and it counts as about half of your servings of fruit for the day. So even just this little mug recipe, you'll get half your fruits, which is awesome. So
Now those are peeled apples.
These are peeled and sliced. And if they're sliced more thinly, then they cook a little bit more evenly.
Okay.
So
Any particular kind of apple?
it wouldn't really matter. Just kind of whatever you have around. Sometimes people like baking with a little bit more tart apples, the Granny Smith apples.
Yes.
Yep, so kind of whatever you prefer.
All right.
Or whatever you got laying around. So you have your apples, and you'll peel it, which will take out some of the fiber, which is a benefit of eating fruits and vegetables. But it still has its vitamin C, vitamin A, and antioxidants, which are awesome. And next you got some oats. So this is going to make the crumble topping. So I'll mix it in this bowl.
So this is just oats as though you were making oatmeal?
Yes.
Yeah, okay.
Yep, just your regular quick oats.
Okay.
And some butter. This is about a tablespoon of butter, 2 tablespoons of quick oats.
I notice you're using butter liberally. You're people after my own heart. Yes.
Yes, and there are replacements for butter if you're looking to change that. You could replace with applesauce, even avocado. Things
Avocado?
Like that. Yeah,
I
Black
never have thought of
beans.
that.
Yeah. Options are endless.
Yeah.
Oh, for
which is
heaven's
neat.
sakes. And they're teaching you all this at Virginia Tech.
Yep.
I'm impressed.
Learn all the healthy habits at Virginia Tech.
Learn all the
all
healthy
the
habits.
secret tips.
You all are in your last year of your program, and is it a baccalaureate program?
We've both graduated our undergraduate.
You've already gotten your
So
your
I
baccalaureate.
graduated from Virginia Tech, and Amy graduated from Penn State. And so we do this internship for about a year, and then hopefully in May we'll take a test, and then we'll be registered dietitians.
All right, so this is a postgraduate
Yes.
internship for a year.
Yeah.
And you go to then multiple venues. Each for about 2 weeks.
So they differ, but typically maybe like 2 weeks to a month.
What are some of the other places you've been?
So I was just at Inova Fair Oaks Hospital. So I was following those dietitians there, learning about acute care dietetics.
So it's a shadowing kind of situation?
Yeah, the first part you're kind of shadowing, getting to know it, and then eventually you're seeing your own patients under their supervision.
I see. All right. All right. Well, that's excellent. All right. Now, what are you doing at Garden Ridge?
So we're shadowing each of the different dietitians. So there's 3 of them. They're teaching us how they do things here. We're seeing our own patients. We're helping do some nutrition assessments. So
All right.
it's
When
been
you
great.
see your own patients, basically what you're doing is developing a menu for them?
So what we do is basically we're asking patients about their appetite. We're asking them how much water they're drinking.
You have access to the medical records so you know their needs?
Yeah. So
Yeah, and we're able to help calculate their needs to see if they should be eating a little bit more, a little bit less, and what we can do.
And of what? In other words, I assume that you're specifying that they should have more fruit, more
Yeah.
protein.
Yeah, more calories, just eating more of their meals or drinking more of the fluids that they have. Yeah. Yep, so we get to interview them and kind of get to know them and what they like to eat, and which is really neat part of the internship is getting to know the
Yes,
residents.
well, and really an important function over at Garden Ridge.
Yeah.
What do each of you intend to do when you get your degree? Where would you like to be working?
I like working in a hospital. Just anywhere where I can see patients and have that interaction with them. That's
In
what
an
I want to
acute
do.
care setting?
That's where I was, for 2 months. So.
I'm pretty open to a lot of different areas. I'm kind of interested in wellness or sports nutrition, but I did really enjoy acute care, and I am enjoying working here at Green Ridge. So
At Garden Ridge.
at Garden Ridge, yeah, sorry.
Green Ridge,
We'll
Garden
just call it
Springs.
whatever.
Right.
Yep.
Got them mixed
Right,
up.
understandably so, particularly when you've been as many places as you've been.
Yeah.
Well, okay, that gives us a bit of background here, and please do continue with your mug cooking.
So I added a little bit of flour, and now gonna add some brown sugar.
Are all of these going to be cooked in the microwave?
Yes.
Yes, that's what I thought.
And you really can cook anything in a microwave. If you look online, you can make scrambled eggs, pancakes.
I have made scrambled eggs. They're a little
Yes.
odd, but yes.
People have made omelets in a mug.
Omelets in a mug.
Cheesecake.
Wow.
A lot of different types of cake. So we had
Now-
a lot of fun researching what we were going to cook on here.
Well, you know, I think the average person doesn't think about cooking
Yeah.
in the sense that you're cooking.
And it's helpful when you don't have access to an oven, or you know what I mean, if you have a smaller kitchen, these
Right.
things are super helpful, and
Yes.
especially if you're cooking for one.
Yes,
So,
yes. Many of us would prefer not to turn on our ovens.
yeah.
I use mine for storage. So
yeah,
I
that's
definitely.
that's what my dad uses ours for too. There's always like at least 5 or 6 pans in the oven.
Yes,
Yep.
I have dog food stored in
Yep.
mine, so, right, would that be a good thing to turn it on?
Yeah.
Yep, so I'm just crumpling the topping for the apple crisp together with a fork, and all the butter's getting stuck inside, so.
Now, is there a crust to this?
No, this is kind of like a crust. It's a topping, and you'll cook it on top in the microwave, and then you can mix it up into the apple crisp, or just leave it on top.
Sounds terrific.
Yeah. I think I'm more of an apple crisp fan than an apple pie fan.
Yeah, I think I would
Yeah.
be too.
Are you?
Definitely.
Yeah, a little bit easier to make too,
Yeah.
which is nice. So yeah, you'll mix all this together, and then you pour it on top of your apples. So when you are microwaving this, you will cook the apples first, and then
Oh, you cook the apples prior to putting, all right.
Just to
You'll-
soften them up a
Uh-huh.
little.
yeah, just for
Uh-huh.
a minute
I
in the
see.
microwave.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Okay.
And if it becomes a little too dry, sometimes that can happen. You can just add a little bit of water, milk, just to moisten that up. But yeah, so this
Well,
is
butter and brown sugar, I mean, how can you go wrong?
Yeah, you
Exactly.
really can't. And
Yep. And if you want to bulk it up a little bit, you can add milk on top, get some protein in, or some ice cream, which I know is a fan favorite with apple crisp.
Absolutely. How long do you cook that in the microwave?
You cook the apples for about a minute, and then the topping you cook for 30 seconds, you stir it up, and then another 30 seconds.
30 seconds, wow.
So 2 minutes
That's
total
it.
in the microwave.
My
which is
heavens.
awesome.
Yeah.
Yep, and so this is what the finished product looks like.
So
Let's
we
try that.
mixed ours up a little bit. We mixed the topping throughout the whole thing.
All right,
Yeah. Do you need an extra spoon?
I do,
think we
please.
have
I'm
two
not
total
quite
here.
sure where I, oh, here's the other one. Actually, I can use that one. That's quite palatable.
Is it good?
Mm-hmm.
Good.
Yes, Yes, it tastes like apple crisp.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
And it's portioned out. You don't feel guilty eating a whole pan of apple crisp because
Oh,
you're
I
just
don't know
eating a
about that,
mug.
but yes, that's all right.
Yeah.
And I like the portion size.
That's what I love too.
Mhm. I mean, that's just about perfect for one
Yeah,
person, I think.
Exactly.
Because a lot of times it's hard to portion control, you know, and this is already
It
done
is.
for you.
That's right, and you're not tempted to eat 3 portions.
Exactly. It just
Exactly.
takes out the temptation.
Yes,
you
it
know?
does. Yes, and that alone
Exactly.
is a
Yep.
huge help.
Alrighty.
All right,
So next, we're gonna do a blueberry muffin in
a
mug.
blueberry muffin.
Yep.
Now
this-
that is hard for me to imagine.
Yeah. So we actually made it this morning, and just wait till you see the finished product because it looks very good.
Very muffinish.
Oh yeah. It definitely, you cannot mistake it.
Mm-hmm.
So what we're gonna do is we're gonna add about a 1/4 cup of flour to the mug. And we have all college-themed mugs, so this is a Georgia.
I noticed
This
that.
is a Georgia Bulldog mug.
A Georgia Bulldog, all right?
Yep.
It's a cute mug.
Thank you. I stole it from my house. So you add the flour, and then we're gonna add about a tablespoon of brown sugar. And then we are also gonna do a little bit of baking powder right here. And most of these have already been pre-portioned out. Again, you can follow a recipe. You can just kind of ad-lib it, whatever cooking style you really prefer.
Let me ask you where you got all of these recipes.
We just looked up a bunch online.
All right, what were you were Googling?
Yep.
What did you Google?
Have you ever heard of Pinterest as well?
Yes.
So we looked on there as well, and they have a search engine, and we just looked up mug recipes. And
Mug recipes.
Yep.
All right, so that would be the
options are
operative word.
endless, yep.
Okay.
Yeah.
So if people want to do this, they can
Yeah.
Google or whatever mug recipes.
Yeah, and I think they're so popular because people love the convenience of them. So when we were looking them up, we had such a hard time picking which ones we wanted
Oh,
to
did
do.
you?
So many good
So
ones.
there were too many.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Okay.
Yeah.
Who
Endless
knew?
possibilities. Yeah.
Yeah, there was
Yeah.
a lot more than I was thinking. So
And we both talked about it. We had both seen these recipes before,
Yeah.
but we never had tried them before we started looking them up recently. So this was a good opportunity to try.
Well, I think this is
these.
terrific.
Yeah.
You know, I don't think the average person out here, including myself, would ever think about mug recipes.
yeah,
I mean, quite honestly, that's just a whole new concept.
yeah, and almost everyone has a microwave. You know, it's like
They-
sometimes you don't always have an
That's right,
oven,
that's
but
right.
everybody
Well,
typically
everybody
has a
here
microwave.
has an oven, but
Yeah. Do most
most
people here have a microwave?
almost everybody.
Yeah, and see, that's what
almost
we were
everybody.
thinking when we were
Absolutely.
thinking about what to do is what's going to be the most relatable to people here. And almost everyone has a microwave, so
They
we
do,
thought these were
they do.
perfect.
No, they are, and I think many of us have virgin ovens.
Yeah.
We simply don't use them.
Yeah, I totally can
And everyone has a
understand that.
favorite mug, so
Yes,
Yeah.
for sure.
and it can be any size.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, and this is just so easy, and your ingredients
We tried to do simple
are common.
ingredients
Exactly.
too. Yeah.
Yeah, I think these are ingredients that most folks would have.
Well, that's what we were hoping for.
Well, I think you picked wisely.
Yeah. All right, so we're just going to add a little bit more milk to this. And what I love about these is that there's not a lot of dishes, so we're adding all of this.
This is true.
We're adding all of this in the mug
Right,
itself.
Right. No mixing bowls.
No. No mixing bowls, no several spoons, no waiting for the oven to heat up, nothing. So then you just add as many, we use frozen blueberries, you can use fresh. We just add however many your heart desires. And just smush them down. And then this one, we only had to microwave for about 1.5 minutes.
A minute and a half.
So once you add the ingredients, and then you just plop some blueberries on top, you cook it for 1.5 minutes, and it's all ready.
Now, was there any baking soda or baking powder in
is.
there?
This is, I think, the only recipe that we have today that uses baking powder. But
Baking powder. All
we
right.
used
I was
about
just
a
thinking you
fourth-
had to. It has to
Yeah.
rise a bit.
We used about 1/4 of a teaspoon of baking powder for the
Okay.
blueberry muffin.
All right.
But for every other recipe today, we didn't add
All right.
anything.
Okay.
And then our finished product looks like this. It looks just like a muffin.
Let's take a look. Oh, for goodness sakes.
I know.
let me show the audience what this looks like.
Yeah.
My golly, it does. It really does look like, really does look like a muffin.
Yeah.
And the
And the
blueberries.
frozen blueberries worked out perfectly.
I was going to say, I can see those blueberries have expanded, and it's light and kind of
Yeah.
spongy.
Good.
Well, that's terrific. My gosh.
Is it good?
It actually is very good.
Perfect.
Yeah, good.
Yeah, I'm definitely gonna make that one at home.
Yeah,
because
that-
I'm all about convenience.
That really does taste, that's my favorite, I think, of all
Good,
these.
good.
Yeah, that's
and
excellent.
And it's a really short list of ingredients. It's not, you know what I mean? It's not an overwhelming
Well,
amount. It's
yeah, and you're
simple.
not baking it for a half an hour, and
Yeah.
boy, gosh, that is truly easy.
Immediate results.
Yep.
Which is what
Yes.
we like.
Oh, I
Yeah.
like this a lot.
Perfect.
All right, so you've got one more?
We do. Yep. Our next is a fan favorite, the chocolate chip cookie.
Oh, of course.
Yep.
Uh-huh.
Yep. So we have our melted butter,
and our Penn State mug.
and yeah, our Penn State nutrition mug. Had to represent.
Are you from Pennsylvania?
I am. I'm from outside Philadelphia.
Uh-huh. Mm-hmm. How about you, Taylor?
I'm from this area, so I'm from right around Mount Vernon. I went to Mount Vernon High School.
Oh, you did.
I
You're-
grew up
you're a
around
local
here.
gal.
Yep. So I love it here.
So kind of just eyeballing this, but
We're all about the eyeballing technique.
yeah.
How many students are in the Virginia Tech program?
For our internship, we have 9 interns right now.
9 interns.
And we're all at different locations. So it's kind of rare that we have 2 interns right now at the same location.
Oh.
We're normally
Yeah.
by ourselves at our
Oh, you are?
rotation. So this
Oh.
is great that we get to do this together.
Okay.
Yeah.
I see. So this is an unusual situation.
Yeah, it's a treat.
Well, I bet it's fun having both of
It
you.
is,
Uh,
yeah.
It's really
Compare notes.
It's fun to learn together, you know, because we're both new to Green Spring and we get to learn the ins and outs of what the dietitians do together.
What
So,
has been your best experience here at Green Spring?
definitely the food.
Okay.
Yep.
Yeah,
Well,
we have
as
great food
dietitians,
here.
that would
Yep.
that would be a good thing.
We
We
love
have
food.
loved lunch every single
Yes.
day, and just
Yeah.
getting to interact with the residents. Everyone we have met is so sweet.
So nice.
All the employees are super helpful. If we look lost, they will help us find
Yes.
our way.
Yes. Uh-huh.
So everyone
Yeah.
here has been wonderful to work with.
Yeah.
Oh,
And our
terrific.
supervisors have been awesome, and we've really learned a lot from them so far.
Yeah.
Oh, well, good. Well, those are all good things to hear.
Yeah.
A
Mhm.
little bit of vanilla.
Now, are you a chocolate chip cookie fan?
Well, now, have you ever met anybody who is not a chocolate chip?
Some people are very particular about their cookies, but you really cannot go wrong with the classic
No,
chocolate chip.
no, I would say not.
Good.
So this calls
Absolutely.
for an egg yolk.
And did
It's not-
you mix it a little bit? You
Um,
broke it up a little bit.
Yeah, I already separated
Yeah.
the white from the yolk. So this will kind of help give it a richer, denser feel. This cookie doesn't really rise at all, so the muffin kind of rose up in the in the mug, but the cookie
Yes,
doesn't, so you
yes,
don't have to
that's
worry
definitely
about
rose
that.
up.
Yeah.
It won't overflow your mug and create a mess.
Mhm.
And then just got some.
What are you adding there?
A little bit of flour. So it calls for 3 tablespoons.
Are you a baker?
Not at Green Spring.
Yeah.
No. Nope.
Now you can with some mug
Well, I was
recipes.
going to say, or at least a pseudo baker.
Yeah.
Yes.
And
Absolutely.
this should create a dough-like consistency. So if you end up adding a little bit too much flour or not enough flour, if it's too thick, you can add a little bit of milk to help with that.
Okay.
But it should look like a cookie dough, which is kind of neat.
And you're adding just regular chocolate chips.
Uh-huh.
Uh-huh.
Yep, you can do the semi-sweet, you can do the dark, whatever you prefer.
Mhm.
And that's the best part. And you cook this for only about a minute. And this can be overcooked, so it's something that you can be
What
aware
happens when you
of.
overcook it?
get kind of hard, so you'll probably know.
I see.
And it does cook a little bit after you take it out of the microwave.
Oh, that's something
right,
good to know.
so it's something
So
to
in
be
other words, you
aware
could
of.
have a permanent cookie in the bottom of your
Yep.
Might
mug.
need to soak it for a little bit,
All
yeah.
Okay.
But, yep, so you can create a dough-like consistency and then cook that right in the microwave, and you got your 1 serving of a chocolate chip cookie.
Wow, who knew?
Yep. Yeah.
Awesome.
And if you wanted to replace the butter with something like applesauce, avocado, I've even heard you can replace the egg yolk with tofu or banana or applesauce to give
Really?
it that dense feel and keep that protein in there with the tofu, which is neat. I've never heard of that.
No, that's a new one.
And this is the finished product.
All right.
Chocolate chips are hidden in there.
They are added.
Yeah, that has a nice consistency. I mean, it's cookie-ish.
Cookie-like, you know?
Uh-huh.
Tastes like a chocolate chip cookie?
It absolutely
That
does.
was what we were going for.
I would never have believed it.
All you need is your
Yeah.
glass of milk. It's complete.
Oh, I think that's incredible.
Yeah.
A chocolate chip in a mug. Yes, it really is a real cookie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yep.
So we had a lot of fun with this because there's really just so many things that you can do in a microwave.
Well, I can see that, and I think we've learned a lot today, ladies. This has really been extremely helpful and instructive. Now, you don't use these recipes or these skills over at Garden Ridge, presumably.
I wish we could, yeah, but
I was going to say, are you serving chocolate chip cookies in mugs over there?
no, we are not.
Unfortunately.
Probably have not done that. Now, you will graduate, what, in the spring? I mean, you'll finish up in the spring?
Yeah, it's coming quicker than we thought.
Yeah.
All right, and your degree then is, you will become a registered dietitian? Is that the proper terminology here?
Yeah.
All right, is there a certification exam? How does that work?
Yep. There's
Yeah.
a pretty lengthy test that we have to take. So we're going to graduate from this internship in May, and then we'll study and study and study some more, and then we'll take a test. And if we pass, we'll be dietitians.
All right, this is a national test,
Yeah.
and is it called certification? Is that the?
I think it's just called like an RD exam, the registered dietitian's
Okay,
exam.
okay,
the
so it's a
license.
registry.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is there a good job market for dietitians?
I think there is, yeah. I think dietitians can kind of find their niche, and there's a lot of different options, which is nice. So, if, like Taylor likes the acute care in the hospital, or if I like doing sports or wellness, it's kind of a variety of options, which is really nice.
Yeah.
All right, so you sort of specialize then after you graduate
Yeah.
at some point.
It's a very diverse job market because we were talking to a dietitian yesterday and she told us where there is food, we can argue a job for a dietitian.
Where there is food, there's a job. All
Yep.
right.
And people always need to eat, you know?
This
so.
is true. I can't think of a better job than knowing that if there's food, there's a job.
Yep. And
Oh my.
Amy and I love to talk about food. We love food, so I think we're in the right job market.
Well, that sounds terrific. Well, ladies, I think this has been most interesting and fun, and I can't tell you how much I've loved hosting this morning.
Yeah, thank you
thanks
so
for
much for having
having
us.
Well, it's been our pleasure.